Hey, this is Alan with GameLark, and I'm here for a 300 subscriber update video. And basically, the purpose of this video is just to explain a little bit about the growth of this channel and what I want to do for the future. And that's about it. So, first of all, I just obviously want to say huge thanks to everyone that's subscribed to the channel, supported the channel, shared it. The response, like I said, I started this channel out without really any idea of where it was going to go. And I've just kind of been piecing it along as I went. So that includes everything from doing the interviews to top picks to even now the quote-unquote record label side of things, where I'm putting out albums with the help of a lot of VGM artists. And it's really just been a lot of fun, to be quite honest. It's a great community that I've found. And I think, to be, again, honest, I really just wanted to create my own little niche in the internet, I love video games and I love music, and when I realized that there was this community already there, I thought, well, maybe I can fit in there. And I have to say, I really feel comfortable here. I mean, I'm really overjoyed to see people, sharing work that I do or sharing other people's work or meeting people because of this channel. It's happened a couple times, and every time I hear someone say, oh, yeah, I ended up collaborating with this person because, I found them through GameLark. That's the greatest feeling for me, because it means I'm succeeding in what I'm trying to do, which is basically, I always say it, but I'm trying to bring the community together. And I think going forward, my goal is to really push the community and make it more well known. I feel like there are these big people that are pretty popular, but there's still so many talented people that are in the VGM community that haven't quite broken out yet. And I still feel like there's so many people both in the music world and the gaming world that aren't really aware of how many talented people exist within the VGM community. So I think going forward, that's probably going to be like my big goal, is just to try to think of ways, how can I engage people that aren't already familiar with the video game community? That's not to say that I'm going to, neglect people that are already in this community, because I'll always have, the interviews. I'll always have top picks. I'm going to try and start doing more Asks video, GameLark Asks. And there's one more series that I think I'm going to try and do at some point. But I think the record label side of things, the quote-unquote record label side of things, is what's going to do that. And, obviously we put out an album, Supersonic, in March, and we're working on another album, which I'll explain. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a month or so. But the goal is to put together high-quality albums so that we can target certain fan groups. So like Supersonic was Sonic, right? And we want to put that out so that Sonic fans, not necessarily video game music fans, can look at the album and say, oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of artists that I haven't heard of before, and now I'm suddenly aware of this bigger community. And that's kind of the goal with, I guess, GameLark, is just to try and expand the presence of the VGM world, get more people into it. But yeah, obviously you might have noticed that the content has declined. The quantity of content has declined a little bit over time, and there's two reasons for that. And I'll be quite honest. The GameLark record label side of things, if you noticed, I merged the two, remixes and records, because I realized it needs to just be one thing. GameLark isn't just strictly video game remixes on YouTube and then albums we're putting out. It's all related. You know what I mean? The two reasons that I've been slowing down a little bit on content. Number one, obviously, is the record label side of things. It's just demanding a little bit more time. It takes a lot of time to plan and get artists and try and coordinate these albums. And I'm always trying to manage that with the YouTube side of things. The other reason is, and this is something that I've been working on since I started the channel, is just to build up my tools. I'm not the most proficient at editing. I'm not the most proficient at doing animations or anything like that, like the higher quality YouTube channels that you see. And I've always kind of been a little self-conscious of that, trying to improve the presentation aspect of GameLark. And I'm still working on that. And I think I've made some progress. I think the biggest thing I'm going to do for the future, one of the biggest things, is the interviews, the way they've changed now, where I have shorter edited interviews on YouTube and then longer unedited versions on SoundCloud. And that's really just so you can get the best of both worlds, because I did this because I noticed on the videos a lot of times there was a drop off pretty sharp at around 10 to 15 minutes, and it just means that a lot of people aren't sticking through for the video. And I thought, well, maybe if I change this, maybe if I change that. And then I realized, a 30-minute video, if I'm being honest, I'm not always going to sit through a 30-minute video, especially if it's mostly just audio. So I figured if I chop it up a little bit, make it a little bit more, give it a little more pizzazz or whatever, that'll help keep people interested, keep people engaged. And then for those people that really want to hear all the details about whatever interview I'm doing, they can go to SoundCloud and they can get the full unabridged version. And it's just audio, which at that point, that's a little bit of a trade-off, but I think it's going to work out well for the future. So that's just an example of how I'm trying to improve the presentation going forward. And other than that, I mean, like I said, the goal is basically to keep doing what I'm doing, trying to interview more interesting people. There's so many people in this community, and I've got so many people that I've promised to interview that I just haven't gotten around to because of one thing or another. I'll have endless content coming out. But as always, the channel is going to evolve. I'll put it like this. At this point, I am at the maximum amount of time that I can put into it. So that means if there's 1 week I don't have a video out, it's because I decided rather than try and rush it, I want to take the time to make sure it looks good or that I have everything I need for it, and then I'll put it out. So that's why I used to really be strict about a 1 video a week, and I've kind of tailored off that a little bit or tapered off, I should say. I haven't been as strict about that. And that's mainly because I just want to ensure that the quality is high rather than trying to pump out a video every week. And I know a video a week is not that hard, but, having a 40-hour week job and all other things in life, it can get in the way. So the bottom line is, as far as the future goes, I really just want to, like I said, I think we have a good thing going. I don't want to change too much. And I don't want you to be concerned with what I was saying about trying to expand the VGM audience. I mean more in terms of, I'm not trying to cater to people that aren't into video game music. I'm trying to bring more people into the video game music fold to show more people, hey, look, this is a really interesting community, a really interesting niche. And it isn't just people doing, straight covers of video game music. Some people are taking stuff and really putting their own spin on it. And then, of course, once you get into an artist because of their covers, a lot of times people put out original music too. So it's, in my opinion, I think that's my goal is to make GameLark kind of a hub for video game music, but to do something even more than that. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I do know like I said, there's some things that we're working on the record label side that I think you'll see in a little bit what that's going to be. But in any case, at this point, you're probably tired of hearing me say thank you, but I do want to say a special thanks to everyone that's helped make this channel what it is. I'm not going to list them all out. You know who you are. People that have either come to me with great ideas or people that have just been really supportive since the beginning. There's several of you. And I can honestly say, I it's not that I ever had in mind to quit this thing, but I don't think it would have gotten this far without those people. I absolutely love hearing feedback, hearing ideas. So many times I've taken something, someone says, hey, why don't you try this? And it turns out to be great, and then I run with it. So, and I guess, to end this all, besides just saying a big thank you, I'm curious to know what you think of GameLark. Like, what does it mean to you? Is it just somewhere you come for interviews? Is it somewhere you come for memes? I mean, obviously, I post a lot of memes on Twitter, and Facebook is pretty much... I use Facebook sometimes. It doesn't seem to like me very much. The reach never goes very far. But what does it mean to you? I mean, what do you want out of GameLark is what I'm asking. I've got all my playlists, right? But I'm not really certain. I can check statistics, but I'm not really certain how often people go through them, if they really use them to find new artists. And I'm not saying that I'd ever consider stop doing them, but I'm just curious, like, what is your favorite thing about this channel? And is there anything you think that I could do better or differently or even new that would be interesting and of value to you? So thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you next time.